No matter what happens, we see it through. Shorty a bad one, wish I had two. They always hate time, we play it cold. No matter what happens, it's me and you. 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 It's me and you.
All right. Back on episode 2 of the Me and You podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Glènae.
That's my baby right there. This is the Me and You podcast, episode 2. First episode, we covered some of the keys to a successful marriage. On this second episode, we would like to go into some more keys to successful marriage. And just to give a disclaimer, the Me and You podcast, we discuss things that we are in a position to discuss. We either have our own experiences in these life situations, or we know of people who have had similar experiences, and we can elaborate on some of these things. So this is not for condemnation to judge anybody. Listen, we are none to judge. None of us can judge. So just want to put that disclaimer out there. We're just giving tips and suggestions, things that may have worked for us. We would like to share with other people, things that may have worked for us or things that may have worked for other people that we are close by, or whatever the case may be, or are in relationship and communication with. We would like to share those things. What purpose is to have great information without sharing. So we don't condemn, we don't judge. We speak on these things because we can speak on these things. So it's not meant to comfort anyone in any kind of way. So this is the Me and You podcast, and we talk about real life things. More keys to successful marriage. One of the things we didn't touch on last time was health, which is a very important topic because there is no longevity in marriage if you're not around. So we're older now, we're adults, we have to be more mindful of our health, and we need to stay on each other as partners to keep health in mind. It's important. You have nothing without your health. So I would like to say, get checked, and encourage your partner to get checked on your health, and make those visits to your doctors, make those visits to your dentist. Make sure your health is in order. What has been your motivation in terms of staying up to date on your health, and any situations that you may have had that make you say, hey, I need to focus on my health. I need to be around for my marriage. I need to be around for my children. I need to make sure those things are in place.
For sure. I think it's nothing like aging that makes health come to the forefront for you. I think
That's a fact.
while you're young and nothing's hurting and nothing's aching, and everything's in place, I don't think we, are very aware of our health and our lifestyles as it relates to food and exercise. And getting older, you notice things are different. Your body is different. And you have to address those concerns.
That's a fact. The body definitely different.
Yes.
My body different. On some paying a fool, definitely my body different, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta stay tuned in with the doc, man. You might want to go from annual to, maybe a couple times a year, every 6 months, getting things checked out. You know what I'm saying? Some of us walking around real cute, you know what I'm saying, with high blood pressure and high cholesterol, and you know what I'm saying, you real lit on your profile picture and all of that, but you could be, you know what I mean, you could be ready to stroke out or something, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just trying to make light of some real situations. I don't want to be funny, but I mean, you have to make sure because you know we're at the age now where we're seeing some of us go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where we've reached that part of our lives. You know, so it's a real thing. You definitely want to be up on your physical activity and most importantly, your nutrition. That's an important thing as we get older. You know, when we were younger, we just, you know, we did what we wanted to do. You know, we still do some of what we want to do, but you know what I'm saying? We have to be more mindful. And honestly, we should have been more mindful younger. That's one thing that's not necessarily all the way stressed. Nutrition coming up. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes when you're in the game of survival, you can't always, or you know, don't have the wherewithal to always consider nutrition. But as we get older and we know better and we learn, we have to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to be around for a period of time for each other and with each other, we have to have our health first. You know what I'm saying? So physical activity, nutrition, very important, very major key to a long, successful marriage. Another thing under health, we have to support each other in our health and nutritional journey. How do you feel like I have supported you in your health and nutrition journey? And we're not gurus, you know, we have work to do, you know, we're working on some things, but you know, we want to keep each other motivated. I know I get on your nerves sometimes, and you know, I make you second guess some of your food choices and things when we're out, things like that. And I have to be mindful too. And you know, it's okay if you tell me no, because the doctor said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to do things like that for each
Yeah.
other. I mean, that's marriage. That's, you know, that's partnership. That's union. So, you know, how do you think I've encouraged you? Have I encouraged you, or have I been a thorn in your side in regards to your health and nutritional choices?
You have to take the feedback from your spouse, especially like when it's about health and about things that are, you know, are serious.
That's a fact.
Even though it, you know, may not be something you want to hear. When you go past how you feel about needing the adjustment, health or fitness wise, and you see that the point of it all is for you to be around.
Sure.
So when you look at it like that, like, you know, this person wants me to be around, and first and foremost, and then like if I'm gonna be around, I want to be well. I don't want to be here going through health struggles that I don't have to, because I won't discipline the way I eat or discipline my lack of exercise. So I think you've definitely over the years kept me aware of health. As you learned more about health, you started passing that information down to me, and then it was trickled down. I would trickle that information down to our children, and that's kind of how the health encouragement goes in the house, from you to me, from me to you.
Sure.
How would you say, like, other than like, don't get no ice cream or something like that?
Listen, you told me to put the ice cream back. You know what I'm saying? On a late night tip, I'm an ice cream. You know, I'm an ice cream guy. I can't shake ice cream. That's, you know, that's the thing that get me every time. You know, growing up, my father was an ice cream manufacturer. He was really good at it. You know, so I've been around ice cream my entire life, and I can't shake that thing. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I've been told to put the ice cream back after dinner and things like that. Too late to be eating that. You know what I'm saying? And you know, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we need to hear those things. And, who better to hear from than the person that's right next to you, that you love and you're doing life with, and, you know, steering you in the right direction out of concern for you and love for you. So, and also they like you spoke on, they want you to be around.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't leaving me around here about no ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Not about no ice cream. You know what I mean? But yeah, very important. And like you touched on, that is something that I wanted to touch on, instilling it in the children, and giving it to them at a younger age, so that when those times come in their lives where they're going to be considering taking things more serious and things like that, they already have that, that head start. Mom and dad did give us these things and teach us these things and give us these tips. And, children understand better by and by,
Right.
I mean, with everything. So that's why it's important to communicate with your children and always stay in communication with your children about everything. Because I'm telling you, as much as they might drive you crazy and seem like they never listening to you, they're listening, and it does resonate. And they will show you at times and in moments that you heard me.
Yeah.
You did hear me. So you're not, you're not just being, rebellious all the time and things like that. Like, you're actually listening to me. So, it helps you to take the time and the patience with your children. You got to be patient with them. But in regards to health and nutrition, give it to them young. Give it to them as soon as you get it. As a matter of fact, in terms of everything, with an exception of things that they shouldn't have certain exposure to in terms of age, and, use your good judgment in terms of those things. But give things to your children in terms of the things that you teach them. Give it to them sooner than later. Trust me, they're children, but they understand. But definitely teach them health and nutrition as you learn by and by. Another key area I would like to focus on is very important: conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is you have to have a game plan in marriage, because it's one of the main things that can, take you in a direction that's not favorable for your marriage. Just having conflict and not agreeing and not knowing how to resolve things and come to some type of agreement, or have an understanding that, we don't all the way agree or necessarily agree at all, and be able to navigate through those things. People split up for things as simple as they just don't agree on things. You know what I'm saying? And, we come up selfish. So people used to having things their way. And, the moment it goes outside of what they prefer, it goes into disagreement, and sometimes major disagreement, about minor things. So, how important is navigating through conflict resolution, and what have been some of the things that have helped you in our situation, in our marriage?
I would say, like, conflict resolution in marriage is one thing. I would say the pre-work is where I would like focus in terms of conflict resolution, in terms specifically of understanding the conflict going on within yourself.
Got to start there.
And when I say that, I mean, it goes back to the what you bring to the table conversation. Usually, like, when they say, what do you bring to the table, it's the good things, the benefits. But of course, we know we're not all just one thing. We're all not just our benefits that we bring to the table. We also bring challenges to the table. And so, just doing the work of resolving self-conflict helps going into marriage so that you don't bring the conflict um, into the marriage, which leads to no resolution, because
Mhm.
it's not necessarily a you and your partner thing. It's something that you need to work on within yourself with God, um, and whatever, therapy, whatever you choose to do to like help yourself. I would just like bring awareness to self, and then I would like broaden that spotlight to the marriage, in terms of, I think doing that pre-work first helps you to have less conflict within a marriage.
Mhm.
You're not going to get away from it.
Mhm.
You have to um, figure each other out. You have to learn um, where we disagree and agree, and why. And so it's not an end all be all thing. It's for us to figure it out and move on to the next, whatever the next thing is that we have to tackle.
True.
Um, but a lot of times we can become stuck on a conflict because it was never resolved.
That's true.
So um, I think my key points would be the pre-work, understanding yourself and where you are, and understanding what you bring to the table in totality, um, and understand the purpose of conflict and resolution. It has a purpose besides making us be at odds with each other. There's a
Mhm.
building in conflict, um, and resolution.
Absolutely. And like you said, it does start with us because, on one degree or the other, we all have things within ourselves that we have to work on and correct, whether we're honest about those things initially or not. But they will come up, and eventually you're going to have to address those things within yourself. And once you start to address those things within yourself, it makes it easier for you to gel and mesh with your partner. And then conflict resolution becomes more of a natural thing and not so much of a pull and tug thing between you and your spouse. You more so go in a direction of wanting to find resolve.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you want to land in terms of your plan for conflict resolution. Um, One of the main things, one of the key things in terms of conflict resolution, you know, when you bring issues to your spouse, bring those issues in the correct spirit. And what I mean by that is we have to have the right attitude. We have to have the right posture. I get it. Sometimes, things go in a certain direction and we go into a certain kind of emotion and we can get angry and upset or even sad about things, but we still have to address issues with a level of respect, um, in regards to our partner. Even if it is something that you are upset about or something that you have a serious, legitimate concern about. Um, One of the easiest ways to lose the ear of your person is to come in the wrong spirit, in terms of disrespect
Mm-hmm.
and things of that nature. So people are more open uh, to discuss things and more willing to have a resolution when you do come in the correct spirit. So that's a major key and it's very important. Um, Another key thing in regards to that is when there is conflict, when there is an issue, hear each other out. Hear each other out. You know what I'm saying? Um, what has been a key thing in terms of hearing each other out in terms of conflict resolution? Has that always been a thing? Has it always been a thing to where as though we can easily hear each other out and things like that? And if it hasn't been, in your opinion, how did we get to a better place in regards to that?
All right, so
Listen, whenever you hit that laugh, I don't know what's coming. Like, I know you, right?
So like I had one
I don't know what's coming, so y'all get ready.
I had a point. You look good in that shirt.
Is it? Do I
It
think
it
so?
is.
Is
Yes.
it? You ain't seen this one,
I
huh?
ain't seen that one. But
That's what I'm talking about.
okay, so 2 points before I forget because I forget stuff. Um the way of society, I would say being a married woman, the way women in society, um and I don't want to say portrayed or is or whatever the case, but the when a woman is upset in the way that she addresses an issue, there's a way that society does it, there's a way that it should be done in marriage. You can't come with like baddies energy
Mhm.
to your husband. Like this is your husband.
Yeah.
Like
This ain't housewives and all of that.
all of that,
Like, you
we're
know what
not
I'm
throwing
saying?
drinks in
We're
nobody's
not doing
face.
none of
Like
that.
that's totally out of bounds.
Definitely ain't
Totally
throwing no
like
drinks over here.
disrespect, heavy disrespect stuff. So that's one thing. Um, you can't address things in a worldly way in your marriage and expect it not to um have a negative impact.
Sure.
They just separate worlds to a
All
degree.
together. Yeah.
The second point I was going to say is early on, I think one of the things that we realized is um, I couldn't come to you with a lot of emotion and be received the way I wanted to be received. And I think you um, like because you are loud, you have a loud voice.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are upset, that voice, is just like anybody else. It's just loud. So um I think one of the things that we learned is I can't come to you with high emotion and then or you if I'm not saying you can't, but I'm saying if you do, it won't be received well by me.
Mm-hmm.
Um and so I think having that awareness with one another helped a lot in terms of how I do it is not as important as what I'm trying to get across.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, if I alter or adjust how I'm doing it, what I'm getting across, um, reaches or touches the person better. When we touched on the spirit that you come with, it touches the person better or is received better when you are aware of the things that the other person is triggered by or is shut down by.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. I have a strong voice.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say a loud voice. I have a strong voice. And as my message gets stronger, my voice gets stronger.
It's real strong.
Just be getting strong. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
um, I mean, but we've gotten to a great place over the years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've done the female stuff. You're going to cry to try to get me out your face. You're going to, get mad, try to get me out your face. But one thing about me, I'm consistent. I'm persistent. I'm coming for you. I don't care nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care nothing about that. I'm going to say
Hmm.
what should be said
Yeah.
in this moment. Um, and try not to allow levels of frustration to take me to a place to where I get angry enough to where you can't receive
Hmm.
what needs to be said.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not gonna say angry, but frustrated enough. When we were younger, it was easier to get frustrated and all. You know, you're younger. Everybody just trying to get their way. Well, I'm saying this. Well, I'm saying that.
Yeah.
And, you know, well, we both just saying something different then. You know, and then you go on. But, like, you know, no resolution, you know, and no resolution is no fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we've gotten better. We've learned over the years. Come in the correct spirit. You know, do your best to come in the correct spirit, because, you know, it's going to help things. Even things that you think it's a hard conversation, you think it's something, you know, a little tedious to bring about, and maybe we can't have that conversation. Listen, we have conversations, and, you know what I'm saying, you have to have certain conversations, and you have to address certain things, and you got to get resolved, because that's your ticket to, we made it through this level. We get to go to the next level. It's kind of like the video game.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, you make it to the next level. You get past that, you make it to the next level. And, you know, as you do that, you're growing. So, you know, come in the correct spirit, hear each other out. You know what I'm saying? And from there, you have a great chance at getting to a resolution, or at least some type of common ground. And speaking of resolution, at the very end of that, the bottom line is a resolution.
Right.
So fight for a resolution. In marriage, you got to learn how to fight for resolution. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't always agree, or if we're not on the same accord, you know, from the biggest to the smallest thing, you know, fight for a resolution. So many people split up because they just can't find a way to agree. You know what I'm saying? And each party has to have their way to some kind of degree. And if you're not meeting that, then, you know, everybody can slide, you know, because, you know, people are disposable, apparently. You know, people file for divorce like it ain't nothing. So, you know, like, we just got all this option out here, especially in regards to women. You know, women are always saying there's a shortage of men, and that is true, because there are more women than there are men. But I would like to argue that there's not the shortage that is being spoke about. It's probably, well, that's another thing. I'll come back around to that. I know y'all gonna hold me to it. But fight for that resolution. Fight for that resolution. You know what I'm saying? Make it the goal. Make the resolution the goal. Don't make hyping up the issue and getting your point across the goal. Make the resolution the goal. And if we have that common goal, then, like I said, even if we can't 100% see eye to eye, we'll respect each other, and we'll say, hey, you know, either this will have to be addressed again later, or, you know, as we go, I'll more and more respect your views, and, you know, things of that nature. And, you know, let those things dissolve, because they become less of an issue as you build a friendship and respect each other's thoughts, minds, and things like that. So definitely fight for that resolution. Another key thing here, very important: ignore the outside noise. What's outside noise to you in regards to your marriage between you and your partner? What's the outside noise that you try to avoid?
I'm gonna say just about everything is outside noise. Outside of you and your spouse. Everything.
Let me ask you this, not to cut you off. How do you? But I am cutting you off, right? We're gonna have to find a resolution in regards to that.
It's cool.
Let me. In regards to avoiding the outside noise, what is your take on falling into the FOMO thing, the fear of missing out?
Um, especially with social media. Um, People in general like feel or think or see what is going on their phone screens and don't want to essentially be left out.
Mhm.
Um,
You see people having fun in a certain kind of way
yeah.
on social media,
hmm
interacting a
And it
certain
looks
kind of way.
fun. And everything looks good. Um,
Everything has a look.
but there are certain things like once you make decisions, especially like once you get married, that is a decision.
Mm-hmm.
So when you make the decision to be married, that's also making the decision that certain types of fun are no longer for me.
Right.
Um,
Or suitable or appropriate.
or suitable or appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. And that's not to say that marriage is boring, but marriage is a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And making decisions is a part of adulting. Um, and so you have to keep yourself from gazing at what you may think is fun that's like outside of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Partying, clubbing, like, and not saying you can't do those things, but it doesn't fit in the family dynamic. Um,
True.
you know, we had 5 children. Like, how could we be out Tuesday,
Right.
Thursday,
How we hitting the scene? How y'all got so much motion out here with
um,
these 5 kids at the house?
it's not very feasible.
Right.
I think we do enough um to keep us, satisfied and entertained in terms of um like being out together, but like there's another component where like we enjoy our time as a family.
Yeah. Just
Um,
finding ways to entertain each other, interact with each other,
yeah.
make it fun.
Yeah, so that's what I would have to say about FOMO. Um, but
FOMO is usually probably connected to some type of competition,
mm,
isn't it? I mean, to some degree.
hmm
Yeah, there's fear of missing
comparison.
out because everybody else is doing it
Yeah.
or other people are doing it. How does it look for me if I'm not doing it or engaging? Well, that, like you said, that might not be your situation.
hmm
You may be looking at people who are single or people who are married with some type of understanding or whatever the case may
hmm
be. Whatever people do is what people do. But specifically to your particular marriage and your particular situation, you understand the dynamic. You guys know where each other are coming from in regards to certain things. That doesn't, like you said, it doesn't work for you and your
hmm
marriage dynamic and family dynamic. So we have to be able to see past the desire to join in the fun,
Right.
so to speak.
hmm
Because people really make misery look like fun. That's the new
Yeah.
way of selling. You
hmm
should be doing this, and creating FOMO for people who might be traveling in a direction that's more favorable for them, but now caught by the outside noise of, yeah, hey, maybe it's not fair that I'm not able to.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
hmm
So, fear of missing out on, what looks and appears to be fun, can be very deceiving. Very much a trick of the enemy, like
hmm
most things. But,
Yeah.
I would avoid the whole FOMO thing. in terms
It's
of
comparison in
it's
general.
comparison,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, you in competition because you trying to show, I can make them kind of moves, and I could, you ain't the only one that could,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and you don't have that to prove. You
Mm-hmm.
be strong and proven to your family, proven to your partner that we in this thing here,
Yeah.
and we're not gonna let small things deter us from the main objective and the goal,
Right.
which is keeping it all together. And when I say keep it all together, within reason,
Mm-hmm.
we find small things to turn big and big enough to where it all needs to dissolve and we split and, let's go our separate ways. It's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? So, but that has a lot to do with pride, of course. So try to avoid that in regards to ignoring the noise. Don't respond to gossip.
Okay.
Don't respond to gossip.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody done heard something.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about people who like to talk about other people, they always heard something. They've always heard something because they're in the business of focusing on other people. That's why they never focus on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. That's another outside noise thing. Don't worry about proving things.
Right.
You're going to always hear things that people are going to always hear say they've heard this and heard. I've heard things about myself that, like, wow, I wonder where that came from because that's sure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, that was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and listen, even if it's true, respond for what?
Right.
Because you need to put that energy into whatever you need to put it into in regards to that situation. You know what I'm saying? You need to be navigating your way through whatever it is and not worrying about what people have to think and the outside noise. A lot of times, outside noise in regards to gossip, or I heard this, it's just more, it's about pride. It's an attack on your pride. You know, you don't want people to view this and view that. You get older, you learn that stuff don't matter. It's not the end all be all, and it's not the main thing. You know what I'm saying? You can get past things that people like to talk about, or whatever the case may be. Let people talk, man. You know what I'm saying? But avoid responding and getting caught up in the whole gossip thing. Let people do what they do. Everybody gonna do something. So, you can't stop that. That's like trying to stop people on social media from commenting and, things like that. Once you put it out there,
It's out there.
it's out there. And whatever they're going to do with it, they're going to do with it. So, it is what it is. Don't get caught up in that. That's outside noise at the end of the day. So, how do you feel about, what's your response to how do you deal with gossip and
Um,
who heard this and
just
who
to
heard that?
put those things in a box of distractions.
Yeah.
Like even like the whole outside noise topic is distraction. And again, it's the awareness. Like once you get married, you have said to the world, you said to God and everybody at your wedding that, I pledge to be with this person. That's an action. There's a reaction to that. The reaction to that is you will have the outside noise. You'll have the distractions, and that's not by coincidence.
No, there's no way around that.
There is like a spirit of attack against marriages, so you cannot be surprised of what forms it may come in and what shapes it may take. You have to understand and just keep your marriage covered in prayer and also covered in sound decisions.
Yeah. High spirit of attack on marriages, that's for
So,
sure.
yeah.
Ultimately, it's the enemy kicking in,
Mhm.
using whatever he can.
Mhm.
Kill, steal, destroy. That's the goal. You know what I'm saying? And the trick is to get you to fall into it
Mhm.
one way or
Yeah.
the other.
So it's like the distraction
Yeah.
piece. And then the other, like what he would really love is if what he really wants is for you to do it.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Well, it's always you.
Yeah.
It's going to always
Yeah.
ultimately be
Yeah.
you. He always set you up to destroy
Mhm.
yourself.
Mhm.
And then when it all
Yeah.
comes about,
You on your own.
you on your own. The enemy going to hype you up,
Mhm.
get you going, get you rattled, get you in that space that he understands that you thrive in
Mhm.
to get you to bust your move.
Listen, you got me too.
Yeah, why you doing all this snap?
I'm following
You
behind
ready to
you.
get started? Like,
You ramping up, I'm ramping up.
right? Damn, like,
He nasty.
facts, man. But I mean, that's the trick of the enemy, man. Like, and he always gonna get you to do yourself in.
Mm-hmm.
And when you sit back, you know, I did this.
Yep. Yep.
Ultimately, I did this. I got tricked into it, but I did do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we get tricked into things we want to get tricked into things that tricked into. So
Yeah, we want to get tricked into it. We don't want the consequence.
we don't want the consequences. We don't want that. We just
Yeah.
want to be able to, you know what I'm saying? Cut up, bring that thing on back and say, hey, you know, heal up, wheel up, bring it back, come rewind, and you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Like we can't get caught up in those curveballs that's thrown by the enemy because let me tell you, marriage is high priority for the enemy. That has to go. If I can tear down the house, I can tear down a whole people.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I can tear down a whole community if I can tear down all the houses.
There you go.
If I destroy the houses in the community,
What community?
What community?
Mm-hmm.
And especially in our communities, that has to stop being the first thing to just split. You got to fight for something here because I'm telling you, our babies are on the line. That's ultimately what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get to a certain place for the people that come after us so they can have better starts and better results sooner than some of us. You know what I'm saying? And that's the fight ultimately. Yeah. That's the fight.
Would you say the best way to stay together is like in the choosing process?
In terms of choosing your
partner,
who you're
going to be with.
Choosing is very important. Very important. Sometimes we become blinded in choosing because we don't know how to be a relationship. We know how to fall in love. You see what I'm saying? That's the easy part. We know how to fall in love. It feels so good. It feels nice, you know, until you got to be in a relationship. And then say, oh, you don't make me feel so nice no more because you hold me accountable now.
Yeah.
You know, what happened to when I was cute and it didn't seem like you was going to make me do nothing. You weren't going to hold me accountable to grow so that we can grow together and really build something. Because when we start getting into that, that's the thick of it. That's the work. And the work is what people go away and shy away from. But it's the most important thing.
Right.
So if you're trying to get through a marriage without the work, you might as well go ahead and wrap that thing up. Or because the fairy tale ain't gonna carry you.
Or if you're trying to go into marriage.
I don't care how cute, I don't care, you know, how wonderful, I don't care what that sex talking about. All of these things, people have gotten left about all of this. Because
With all that in
with
place.
with all of that in place. That's what I mean. With all of those things in place, these things dissolve because people don't learn to do the work. We don't learn to do the work. We have so much pride with us, and it's always the other person that needs more work. Because I ain't on this level. I might BS this way, but I don't BS like that. See, you be BSing. But you got some BS with you, though. I bet you that.
Yeah.
So don't worry about their level of BS. You got your level of BS to work to work on, regardless of whether you think they on a higher tier than you in regards to their BS. You still got something to work on. Because even though they have a greater way to come from, if you don't start, they're going to pass you. They're going to improve past you. And then you'll grow apart.
I think
so growth has to be aligned some kind of way. Even if we like this, we still should be within each other's sight. You know what I'm saying? So
one point I would just want to put out there is that there is more of the falling in love feeling between you and your spouse, but it's on tiers and levels.
Sure.
Like, I think people exhaust that first level and think that there's nothing else to be enjoyed between you and that person in terms of like the dreamy falling in love piece. But as you two grow together, you get like, it's like you unlock another level of those type of feelings. And then they're substantiated with the work that you two are doing and building as a couple.
Sure.
So it's not just how he look, how I look, how he make me feel. It's not that. It's the work that I see him putting in to this union. And it invigorates me. I want to put some work in. And it's like, you put in work, I put in work, you put in work. Hey, we growing. We're two different people. I love you more. Like, there's more to love about you at each other. As we grow, I love you more. I see more of you. I see more of your growth.
Sure. And I like that.
And I like it. Yeah. I like it for you. I like it for us.
It's encouraging to me as well. Like you said, we like it for each other. Very true.
So, like, don't spend time trying to get something back. Like, I want to get back to feeling like it was when we met, and not like it's not that anymore.
That's over.
But it is something greater.
There is something great. That's what I'm saying. Once you unlock every level, there is something greater. Let's get to the point where we fight to unlock this level so we can get to the greater thing between us. You know what I'm saying? And God will show us a way on this greater level to keep going and unlock the next level. You know what I'm saying? And like we talk about, you have to continuously find ways to fall in love over and over again with that person.
Okay.
And growth does that because it's almost like meeting a new person to a degree. You grew substantially, whatever the case may be. Wow. That's like, over the past couple of years, like, okay, you've worked on some things, like, you know what I'm saying? And
it's attractive.
Right. It's attractive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's taking me to another place in regards to how I feel about you. So keep working toward those things. And just to kind of piggyback off of what she was saying, the major things then become not minor, but the cherry on top. The major thing might have been how they looked, how they make me feel bubbly inside, how I feel sexually toward them. But now those things become the cherry on top. And the main thing is how we're growing together.
Yeah.
So just wanted to elaborate on some further keys to a successful marriage for this second episode. Anything else?
That's it.
It's a wrap. I'm Matt.
I'm Glènae.
Peace.
It's me and you. It's me and you. It's me and you. It's me and you.